There comes a point in your life where you realize that silence is not loneliness and privacy is not isolation. It is strength. It is wisdom. It is a shield Allah places over the hearts of those He wants to protect. When you stop narrating your life to the world, when you stop announcing every thought, every plan, every blessing, you begin to discover a peace that feels sacred, almost hidden, like something only you and Allah understand. You once believed that sharing everything made you transparent and open-hearted, but experience teaches you that not everyone who listens is listening with love. Some people are curious, not caring. Some smile in your face while envy grows quietly in their hearts, and some simply do not deserve to witness the beauty of your journey. The moment you learn to hold parts of your life close, like treasures protected in your chest, you begin to feel safer than you ever did when you were telling the world everything. There is a special kind of peace in walking silently with your goals, whispering your dreams only to Allah in sujood, allowing your destiny to unfold without noise. A seed does not grow where everyone can see it. It grows underground in darkness, in silence, far from eyes that could crush it. Your life works the same way. Blessings grow in protected hearts, not in public display. The more you guard your life, the more Allah guards it for you. You start realizing that not everything needs to be explained. Not every feeling needs to be posted. Not every achievement needs applause or witnesses. You don't owe the world a diary of your soul. Some moments are meant to live only in your heart, cherished quietly between you and your Creator. Some victories are meant to be celebrated in private dua, not public announcements. And some struggles are meant to be healed in silence, not turned into conversations for temporary sympathy. Silence teaches you maturity. Privacy teaches you clarity. When you speak less about your life, you begin to hear more from Allah. Your heart becomes more sensitive to His signs, His timing, His wisdom. You stop seeking validation from people who can't even guide themselves. You stop chasing approval from those who would disappear the moment life becomes heavy. Instead, you turn to Allah, who knows your heart without hearing your words, who sees your effort without needing your explanation. There is beauty in being unseen. There is dignity in being selective with your access. There is power in letting your progress speak for itself. The world does not need to know where you are heading. Allah already wrote it. The world does not need to approve your dreams. Allah placed them in your heart for a reason. And the world does not need to witness your growth. Allah is watching, and He rewards what is done sincerely for Him. Soon, you begin to feel lighter. You stop carrying the pressure of performing for others. You stop fearing judgment because you no longer live for their eyes. You stop oversharing because your soul finally understands one truth. Peace grows in silence. Happiness grows in gratitude. Blessings grow in secrecy. And hearts grow when they are hidden from jealousy, protected by tawakkul, and guarded by Allah's mercy. Not everyone needs access to you. Not everyone deserves a seat in your life. And not everyone's hands are clean enough to touch the fragile parts of your story. So you learn to give your silence, not your secrets. Your smile, not your suffering. Your presence, not your personal life. You learn to live quietly, beautifully, purposefully, knowing the less they know, the safer you are. And the more you place your trust in Allah, the more you realize privacy is not distance, it is protection. And silence is not emptiness, it is peace. There is a quiet wisdom in the way Islam teaches us to guard our lives. Not everything is meant to be spoken. Not every blessing is meant to be displayed. Not every struggle deserves an audience. There is a mercy in concealing what Allah has given you. Because privacy is not about hiding, it is about protecting what is pure from eyes that don't understand it, from hearts that may envy it, and from souls that may not wish you well. You start to understand something profound as you grow spiritually. Not everyone who sees your happiness feels happiness for you. Some hearts congratulate with their lips, but burn inside with jealousy. Some eyes admire you while secretly hoping you fall. And some people take your vulnerability as an invitation to gossip about your life the moment you turn away. So Allah, in His divine wisdom, teaches you that silence is safety and privacy is protection. When you keep your blessings quiet, they grow. When you keep your intentions hidden, Allah guards them. When you protect your personal affairs, Allah places barakah in them. There is a spiritual power in not exposing everything you love to the world. Even angels hide their wings not out of fear, but out of honor. Even the treasures of paradise are unseen, not because they are small, but because they are priceless. Your life too deserves that sacred protection. There are people who share their plans loudly but never see them fulfilled because they forgot to shield their dreams from envy. There are people who speak of their marriage, their wealth, their progress, only to watch them fall apart slowly. Not because Allah did not want goodness for them, but because they opened doors for jealousy, for the evil eye, for silent prayers from bitter hearts. And sometimes the harm does not come from hatred, it comes from curiosity, from people watching too closely, from souls who do not know how to wish well without comparing. So you begin to choose wisely. You learn to keep your du'as tucked in your heart, whispered only to Allah in the stillness of the night. You hold your plans like fragile gems, not to hide them out of fear, but to nurture them in quiet faith. You speak less, observe more, and trust Allah completely. You realize that what is sacred grows best in silence, and what is blessed flourishes when hidden from the noise of the world. And in that silence, something beautiful happens, your reliance shifts. You stop expecting encouragement from people because you are now seeking strength from Allah. You stop looking outward for support and instead look inward toward what Allah placed in your heart. Your peace no longer comes from people understanding you, but from Allah knowing your intentions. Your comfort no longer depends on who stands with you, but on who never leaves you. Slowly, you become comfortable with being unseen. You no longer feel the urge to prove anything to anyone. You no longer need to announce your growth, your blessings, your struggles. Allah sees it all, and that becomes enough for you. And in that moment, privacy becomes worship. Silence becomes a shield. Restraint becomes strength. You guard your eyes, your heart, your story, and in return, Allah guards your life in ways you cannot see. So you walk quietly, with dignity. You smile without explaining the reason. You achieve without broadcasting your steps. You love without seeking validation. You heal without making noise. Because now you know the most precious things in life don't need a spotlight. They just need sincerity, dua, and Allah's protection. And as you move this way, your soul finds peace. Not because life becomes easy, but because your trust shifts to the one who controls every outcome. You finally understand silence isn't emptiness, it's faith. Privacy isn't secrecy, it's wisdom. And what lives between you and Allah is always safer, always purer, always more blessed than anything the world can see. There comes a moment in life when you look back at the people you once trusted effortlessly, the ones you shared your dreams with, your pain with, your secrets with, and you realize not everyone was meant to hold your heart so close. Not every smiling face is sincere. Not every listening ear is loyal. Some people walk into your life disguised as supporters but carry shadows in their hearts. And sometimes the people who seem closest to you are the ones who quietly hope your light dims because your shine makes their insecurities louder. This realization doesn't make you bitter, it makes you wiser. It doesn't turn your heart cold, it teaches you to protect it. You start to understand why Islam emphasizes caution, why the Prophet ﷺ taught us to choose companions carefully and to keep certain matters hidden. You learn through experience that trust is not something given freely, it is earned through character, consistency, and fear of Allah. And those qualities are not found in many. Younger versions of us trusted quickly, we believed words easily. We thought sincerity was common and loyalty was natural. But life teaches you loyalty is rare, sincerity is precious, and true friends are few. Some people stand beside you only when you are weak, because your weakness makes them feel strong. Some cheer for you only as long as you remain behind them. Some comfort you only to gather information, and the moment they leave, your pain becomes their conversation topic. These are not friends. These are lessons. There is a type of peace that comes when you stop letting everyone enter your emotional space, when you stop handing out access to your heart like it costs nothing, when you stop believing everyone deserves to know the private chapters of your life story. You begin to protect your peace the way a believer protects their deen, with intention, discipline, and clarity. Because you now understand, trust without caution is not love, it is naivety. And Islam does not encourage naivety. It teaches wisdom. So your circle becomes smaller, not because you are arrogant or distant, but because you are careful and selective. Your inner world becomes sacred territory, entered only by those whose hearts fear Allah more than they fear losing you. You begin to find comfort in a quieter circle. One friend who prays for you is more valuable than 10 who gossip about you. A sincere companion who guides you toward Allah is better than 1,000 who applaud your ego. And if Allah gives you even one loyal soul in this world, someone who guards your secrets, protects your dignity, and reminds you of Him, then He has given you a gift wealth cannot buy. But even more powerful is when you reach the stage where you're content with having no one but Allah, where silence does not scare you, because solitude with Him never leaves you empty, where you stop pouring your heart into people and start pouring your heart into du'as, where your secrets are safe because they live only between you and the one who never betrays. This is not loneliness, this is liberation. This is spiritual maturity. This is peace. You begin to see that not everyone who walks away is a loss. Some people leaving is Allah removing noise from your life. Some friendships ending is Allah protecting you from future pain. And some betrayals are not punishment, they are purification. They teach you who deserves access to your heart and who only deserved a polite wave from a distance. They teach you that Allah will sometimes expose people not to hurt you, but to save you, to free you, to strengthen you. And once you learn these truths, you love differently, you trust differently, you speak differently. You no longer rush to open your heart. You no longer hand your peace to people like it has no value. Instead, you guard your soul the way a believer guards prayer time, intentionally and carefully. Because now you know that some smiles hide envy, some friendships hide competition, and some hearts hide darkness, and you refuse to let those shadows dim the light Allah placed inside you. So you choose privacy, you choose wisdom, you choose silence over exposing your soul to the wrong hearts. You walk with grace, holding your secrets close, letting Allah be your confidant and your protector. And slowly, your life becomes calmer. Your heart becomes safer. Your trust becomes purer, not because you found better people, but because you realize the safest place for your secrets is with Allah alone. There's something sacred about dreaming quietly. The world today is loud. Everyone rushes to announce their plans, their goals, their next move. People share what they haven't even built yet, hoping the world will clap for them before anything is real. But in Islam, we are taught a different path, a quieter one, a wiser one. A path where dreams are whispered to Allah, not declared to people. Where progress is seen in silence, not broadcasted to strangers. Where our heart's deepest hopes rest safely between us and the one who controls destiny. You learn this the hard way. You start to notice that when you spoke too soon, plans fell apart. When you shared your intentions, obstacles appeared from nowhere. It wasn't coincidence, it was a reminder. Not everyone needs to know where you are going. Not every soul deserves access to your vision. Some people don't want you to grow, not because they are evil, but because your growth reminds them of where they aren't. Some won't support you because they fear your success will make them feel small. And some hearts simply cannot celebrate others, not even silently. So you stop seeking applause and validation. You stop announcing what you're building before Allah allows it to bloom. You realize that dreams grow best in quiet places, in sujood, in late night dua, in the space between your chest and your Creator. A plant does not grow when its seed is constantly dug up for display. Dreams are the same. They need privacy, patience, and prayer, not exposure. The most powerful work you will ever do is the work no one sees. And in this quietness, something transforms inside you. You no longer chase attention, you chase sincerity. You no longer rush success, you trust timing. You no longer fear being unseen. You fear being insincere before Allah. You begin to taste the sweetness of living for Him instead of for the approval of people. And that single shift changes everything. Suddenly, life becomes lighter, clearer, calmer. You stop explaining yourself. You stop pleading for understanding. You stop performing for the world. Because your heart has learned the beauty of knowing that Allah is enough and His plan does not require witnesses. When you keep your dreams private, you work harder. You become more disciplined. You stop wasting energy convincing people and start directing that effort toward effort. Your intentions become purer. Your heart becomes focused, and your progress becomes real, not performative. There is something pure in waking up every morning with quiet determination, building slowly, working humbly, moving gently, trusting God completely. The world doesn't see the struggle, but Allah does. The world doesn't hear your du'as, but Allah does. And He responds in the most beautiful ways, unseen, subtle, perfectly timed. Then one day, the dream begins to manifest. It appears softly like dawn rising, not loud, not dramatic, but undeniable. And the same people who once knew nothing about your plans are now witnessing your reality. They wonder how it happened. They ask when you started. They didn't see the nights you prayed. They didn't see the moments you doubted but continued. They didn't see the tears, the sacrifices, the quiet battles. They only see the result because you let Allah reveal your success, not your tongue. And in that moment, you realize how powerful silence was, how much barakah lived in concealment, how much strength came from trusting Allah more than the world. Your dream grew safely because you protected it. Your blessing expanded because it was hidden from jealousy, negativity, and weak hearts. And now, instead of applause defining you, gratitude does. You don't stand on the mountain saying, "Look what I did." You stand there whispering, "Look what Allah blessed me with." so you continue moving in silence. You keep your plans tucked gently in your chest. You continue planting seeds in secret and watering them with dua. You allow Allah to be the first to hear your hopes and the one who brings them to life. Because the more you live like this, the more you see dreams guarded by Allah bloom, while dreams displayed too early struggle under the weight of eyes they were never meant to carry. And you promise yourself, from now on, my dreams will be conversations with Allah, not announcements to the world. My progress will be proof, not words. My success will be gratitude, not display. Because the most beautiful things in life do not need to be seen to be real. They only need to be trusted to the one who can make them happen. Sometimes the greatest pain in your life doesn't come from enemies, but from the people you allowed too close. The ones you trusted with your dreams, your fears, your heart, only to watch them mishandle it, misunderstand you, or use your vulnerability against you. And in those moments, you learn a lesson that stays with you forever. Your life is sacred. Not everyone deserves access to your soul, your plans, your wounds, or your growth. Some people were never meant to know you deeply. They were meant to pass by you, not reside in your heart. You fail to protect your peace the moment you start believing that everyone around you has pure intentions. The moment you believe your kindness guarantees loyalty. Human beings are complicated. Some will love you sincerely. Others will smile while secretly wishing to see you fall. And the sooner you accept this reality, the sooner you will stop handing out pieces of yourself to people who don't value them. There are hearts that were born jealous. Some minds cannot stand seeing someone else rise. Some souls feel threatened by your light, even when you never intended to outshine them. And there are times when Allah protects you by exposing people through disappointment, hurt, betrayal, not to break you, but to wake you, to show you who really matters and who never did. To teach you that privacy is not selfishness, it is wisdom. Silence is not weakness, it is strength. And solitude is not loneliness, it is protection. When you stop announcing your goals and start working quietly, you become unstoppable. When you stop explaining yourself to everyone, you remove unnecessary judgment and misunderstanding. And when you stop chasing validation, your heart finally breathes. The world does not need to know your every thought, your every pain, your every step. Allah knows, and that is enough. He is the one guiding your journey, writing your story, shaping your future. What benefit is there in exposing sacred pages of your life to people who don't even know how to read sincerity anymore? You don't need applause to grow. You don't need witnesses to evolve. Remember, a seed grows in darkness before it reaches the light. Your breakthroughs, your healing, your goals, they don't need an audience. They need patience, silence, and faith. You are not hiding, you are protecting what Allah is building inside you. And every time you refuse to share something sacred with someone careless, you choose maturity over impulse, peace over chaos, tawakkul over insecurity. And as you continue this journey, you will feel something powerful, a calm that cannot be explained. You will wake up without needing to justify yourself. You will walk without seeking approval. You will smile without needing anyone to understand why. Because real strength is quiet. Real confidence is gentle. Real growth is hidden until Allah decides it is time for your blessings to be seen. Be selective with your circle. Be careful with your heart. And if someone asks, why don't you share everything anymore? Just smile and say, I learned. You learn that not everyone who listens cares. Not everyone who praises means well. And not everyone who knows your story deserves a front row seat in your life. Some people only love the version of you that struggles, but they will not be happy when you rise, so rise quietly. Let your success speak, and let your peace be your proof. The less they know, the safer you are, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and the more Allah protects you. Because those who want good for you don't need details, they only make dua. And those who don't deserve anything at all. There comes a moment in your journey where life starts to feel quieter, slower, more intentional, not because nothing is happening, but because Allah is protecting your peace in ways you once prayed for. Sometimes the biggest blessing is not what He gives you, but what He removes. Noise, fake love, shallow friendships, unnecessary invitations, distractions disguised as opportunities. You may not notice it at first. It might feel like you're drifting away from people, or like life is becoming calm to a point where it's almost unfamiliar. But that stillness, that clarity, that is protection. It is Allah placing you in a space where your heart can breathe again. You start losing interest in drama, gossip, and meaningless conversations. The things that once irritated you no longer deserve your reaction. You realize that silence is not empty, it's full of answers. You begin to understand that not everything requires your explanation. Not every attack deserves a response, and not every situation needs you to defend your character. The moment you stop rushing to prove yourself, you feel light. The moment you stop carrying expectations of people, you feel free. That peace, that emotional calm is Allah training your heart to trust Him more than you trust creation. People who once triggered your insecurities no longer hold power. You stop chasing friendships that are one-sided. You stop forcing connections that drain you. Someone leaves, and instead of panicking, you say Alhamdulillah, because you know Allah never subtracts without replacing with better. You learn to let go without fear. You learn to detach without bitterness. And suddenly, solitude becomes a sanctuary instead of a punishment. You sit with yourself and you don't feel lonely, you feel safe. Because Allah fills that space with sakina, tranquility. Your priorities shift. You find sweetness in simple things. A peaceful morning, a sincere dua, a moment of reflection after salah, a quiet walk, a heartfelt conversation with someone who truly understands you. Worldly noise loses its grip. You start valuing people who speak with sincerity instead of loudness, who bring peace instead of pressure, who remind you of Allah instead of your ego. You find yourself listening more, reacting less, appreciating more, complaining less. This is not weakness. This is spiritual maturity. This is Allah softening your heart, polishing it, preparing it for blessings you cannot handle with an unsettled soul. Then there is another sign. Opportunities appear without you chasing them. Doors open softly. Provisions come quietly. You realize that sometimes the biggest breakthroughs arrive when you stop striving from your ego and start trusting from your heart. You do your effort, but you no longer drown in worry. You plan, but you no longer beg for control. You hope, but you don't panic if things don't match your timeline. You start recognizing delay as protection, rejection as mercy, silence as guidance. And even in confusion, there is a peace that whispers, Allah is with me, and He does not abandon those who turn to Him. When you reach this state, you stop fearing the future because you know your story is written by the one who knows your soul better than you know yourself. You stop regretting your past because you realize every hardship carved wisdom into your heart. And you stop depending on people because you finally tasted the sweetness of depending on Allah alone. That calm you feel, it did not come from the world. It came from the one who controls hearts. It is a gift and a sign that He is not only guiding you, but guarding you. And the more you commit to Him in private, the more He elevates you in life in ways no person could ever give. When Allah protects your peace, He protects your heart, your dignity, your time, your energy, your dreams. And once you taste that protection, you will never again trade it for the company of those who disturb your soul. There comes a point in life where you finally understand that true strength is not in how loudly you move, but in how quietly Allah guides you. The world glorifies noise, showing everything, proving everything, sharing every move, every blessing, every opinion, every moment, but the believer learns a different path. A path of dignity, humility, and quiet confidence. You don't need the world to see your journey when Allah sees your effort. You don't need applause when your heart knows who you are and who you serve. Living quietly does not mean living small. It means living deep. You are no longer driven by the need to impress, but by the desire to please Allah. You wake up and say Alhamdulillah softly, not because the world needs to hear it, but because your heart does. You work hard, not for validation, but because excellence in private brings reward in public from the one who never ignores effort. You pray in silence, not because you have no words for people, but because you have endless words for Allah. Your dreams are whispered in sujood, your fear is released through tears no one sees, and your victories shared first with the one who gave them to you. And slowly, Allah changes you. You stop chasing what isn't yours. You stop competing in a race that never belonged to you. You learn that what is written will reach you even if the world stands against it, and what isn't yours will slip away even if the world hands it to you. You stop begging life to be perfect, and instead start trusting Allah's timing, His plan, His wisdom. You become content with His decree in a way you never thought possible. And that contentment, it gives you strength no one can break. You move with calmness because you know who walks beside you. You detach from the noise of the world and attach to the peace of remembrance. You don't need crowds. You don't need constant voices around you. Just a clean heart, quiet prayers, honest intentions, and a soul that turns back to Allah again and again, even after it falls, even after it struggles, even when the world pulls. You don't hide because you fear the world. You stay private because you understand your soul grows better in sacred soil, not public display. Your steps become intentional. You choose your company carefully, not out of arrogance, but out of wisdom. You understand that energy is precious, time is valuable, and not every door deserves to be opened. Your life becomes simpler, your heart becomes clearer, and your future becomes stronger. You begin to realize that Allah didn't isolate you, He refined you. He didn't make you quiet, He made you focused. He didn't reduce your circle, He purified it. Everything He took, He replaced with something purer, deeper, more sincere. And then, one day, you look back at who you used to be, desperate for attention, hungry for validation, chasing things that never filled your heart, and you smile. Because now you know where real peace comes from. Not from being seen, but from being guided. Not from being followed, but from being chosen. Not from the love of people, but from the love of Allah. So you walk forward gently, firmly, silently, with a heart that trusts, with a soul that remembers, with a face that finds peace in prostration, with a life that is no longer loud but blessed. You don't shout your journey, you live it. You don't announce your blessings, you protect them. You don't explain your growth, you embody it. And Allah becomes enough for you in a world that constantly demands more. Quiet does not mean weak. Hidden does not mean insignificant. Private does not mean alone. You are held by the one who sees everything, hears everything, knows everything, and never leaves his servant who calls upon him. The less you need the world, the more you feel the one who created it. And that right there, that silent connection, that hidden strength, that unseen peace is the most powerful life you can ever live.